So as a spin-off from the last video I've just posted, I just wanted to so I worked in this fast food restaurant for a considerable amount of time, and I got to see a lot of first dates or multiple dates go on there, right? And the one main thing that really irked me working there was seeing the amount of food that was wasted. And it wasn't it was mainly the first dates that really did this for me. There'd be this girl, she'd be all done up, all cute, looking for this guy, and he'd order her food, and it might be something silly, just like some free wings or whatever, and there'd still be 2 wings on there. Now, we all know that 3 wings is not a lot of meat, okay, to be eating. It's just not. It can barely fill most children's stomachs. So it's like when they're trying to look all prim and proper and sweet, they're wasting all that money on food that doesn't, it's not cheap. It's not exactly cheap. It's not like £1, £2. It's a certain amount, you know. And then when we're going to higher level restaurants now, you know, that's a lot of money. Now, okay, women, say you're paying for the date, right? You're not really gonna be so wasteful or silly with stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure you eat all your food when you pay for it, right? So this is gonna be your future possible partner, right? Does it make sense to sit there and waste his money just because? And if you don't like the guy, don't just go out for a free meal. That's just silly as well, because, you know, no free lunches. No free lunches. We've become a society where we depend on other people too much. And yeah, it's all well and fine and it's fun. But when it comes to actually structuring your future for the future, you need to plan ahead. You need to be able to say, okay, well, if me and this man are going to make it forward, and I'm not really going to want him to waste his money, because we're going to need to worry about mortgage, cars, baby clothes, nursery, for marriage, wedding, what else? Retirement. I understand we all want to live in the here and now and, you know, have a YOLO life. But at the same time, we need to be able to understand that if we don't start to set our futures now, there'll be no future later. We cannot sit there and depend on state benefits or men to contribute consistently, unless they're your partner. Family members, it's not their place to fund your life. It really isn't. They can help out from time to time, but it isn't their place to fund your life. It's for you as a woman to find a decent partner to co-create life with, because in this day and age, it's virtually impossible to get a mortgage by yourself. Not virtually, I mean, it has been done and it can be done, but it's just exceedingly hard. And if you don't have the right mindset, like knowing about taxes, knowing about mortgages, knowing and understanding what water rates are, how to get a gas and electric provider, to know where your stopcock is, or your water shut off valve, or whatever it's called, like how to understand all these things, how to maximize your money for its best return, specifically if you're planning to have children or you're planning to start businesses and things like that. Because at the end of the day, it comes to the point where fun has to stop and serious work has to start. So it has to get into the mind that you can't play all the time. This isn't, you know, like in primary school, they get a lot of playtime and breaks in between the work that they do to, you know, walk around. Like, as you get older, that's supposed to be trained out of you. So that also means that as you progress in age, you are supposed to train all this extra playtime stuff out and get to the point of serious work where you are able to create generational wealth, where you are not squandering money on foolishness. Going on the first day and wasting that man's money just shows that you're not financially inept. You're going to sit there and just continuously waste when university fees are high, when college fees are going to be probably some silly amount by the time you have the kids to get there. Nursery fees at the current moment in 2025 are £1,000 plus in most places. So when you start to factor in these things, the cost of a buggy being, I don't know, between two to a grand, the cost of nappies on a weekly basis, food, if you're not breastfeeding, all these things, like there's a lot of things that you need to factor in. So when you're dating and you're actively going out to date someone, you need to be able to understand that, factor that into your decision making, make sure you process it correctly. If the person isn't willing to be a provider, then you need to see that too. You also need to see the fact that it's not just a providing type of thing, it's also a mindset. So if your mind isn't right and you're just out there just taking what you can wherever you can whenever you can, eventually you're going to come to a rut, and that rut is going to put you in a place where you really don't want to be. You know, you're either going to succumb to a person you don't really love and want to be just because they're financially stable later down the line, or you're gonna, how can I say? Also, another thing is when you waste men's money like this, they get angry. I had to just divert right to this because I've seen it. I've seen it. It's mad. Like, they can get very angry. They also expect stuff from you when you're being wasteful like that, because I mean, they've had to work for their money. It isn't easy. Money doesn't just fall out the sky for them to be lavishing you with it. So don't be so squanderous with it, if that's even a word. Just don't squander it like that, and be kind, because it's a problem later in life. And I don't want, because there's a lot of women out there that go on these dates, men look at them a certain type of way, because I see it in their faces as well. It's just like, oh, this wasteful woman, like, if this is how she's going to be with one meal, how's she going to be with the next 100 meals or thousands of meals that I'm going to have to try and provide? Like, is it going to be so wasteful every time? Because then I'm going to have to do this, that, when you could be his peace. You could be his peace and not his problem. In this society, we've become too engrossed in becoming someone's problem rather than their peace, and then worry about why it didn't work out and don't understand why things aren't panning out the way they should be. And it's because you became someone's problem, not their peace. And I mean, I can eat my own advice. I probably have been someone's problem. Not probably, I guarantee I've been someone's problem in the past. Maybe still. But I choose not to carry on being someone's problem. You know, you can distance yourself from it if you don't like it. And if you're going to waste money, I mean, personally, I'm a cheap date. We can go for a walk in the park. Because if I don't like you, I don't want you to hold nothing over me. B, it's an easy out, you know? Just, okay, bye. bye. It's just easier. I'll walk by the Thames, or walk by a lake somewhere, down by the sea, go for a drive. Those are nice things. It's also actual ways to communicate. In certain eateries, the music's quite high, there's a lot of hustling, bustling going around, you're quite distracted, you can't really actually get to know the person that you're talking to. So in my mind's eye, I wouldn't want to necessarily do that. No, we can go for a coffee, we can talk, we can go for a walk, we can get to know each other in those type of ways, rather than waste so much time and money. Because even me, I'd have to get ready, you know, I'm not doing makeup, but I'd have to get ready. I'd have to spend so much money on perfumes and all of these things just to, you know, lavish you with my essence. And it just doesn't make sense if you're just going to keep doing that for a free lunch. That's actually costing you more when you could save your money and not do that and stay at home and work and make more money. Firstly, ladies, gentlemen, please stop spending so much money on ladies, okay? Because it comes to a point you become so annoyed. I sat down with a colleague one day and I asked him, like, so how much do you spend on these girls when you go on a date, right? And he said roughly between 50 to 100. So I said, and you've gone on how many dates this month? And he sat down, he did the maths, and he said, you know what? I think I'm going to calm down on this dating thing. Yeah. I said, yeah. What is the problem? Why so much? You know, why so much? Why doesn't it be limited to a certain point? And that colleague, you know, eventually settled down, got into a decent place in their life, and and saved so much money, which was fantastic for them. It was fantastic. And they came back to me and they said, you know what, I'm so glad you put those things together for me, because it showed me that I was actually wasting my life and my time and my money in things that, excuse my head because it is a mess, um I wasn't wasting. I was wasting when I didn't have to, you know, just for fun, because I was trying to compete with the guys or trying to make my ego swell. And I was just like, you know what, you young one are gonna go far, because quality over quantity and future over past or present. So if like your friends are in this mad group and they just, oh yeah, we're spending this much, we're spending that much, and da, 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 da. You know what? Look at them. Say to your friends, have you saved for your mortgage? Have you saved for your college, your kids' college, your retirement? Have you saved? Have you bought land? Have you built trusts? Have you done these things? Because if we're just gonna keep going, flying here, there, everywhere, if we're gonna keep going and spending money in strip clubs or at raves or whatever just to be seen and heard, like no, society's your life and society's life's just going to go downhill. We need to get to a place in life where we are more inept for our own lives to grow and prosper. I don't say this, but like, share, and subscribe if you want to hear more, and if you don't, that's fine. These are just my opinions. Well, not just mine, but there is a vast majority of individuals that feel and think like this, and it gets to a point where we need to stop being wasteful. It's just not beneficial for our futures, whether it's environmentally, financially, or for our possible future children or children that you have already, or for your own life. Because what about retirement? What about retirement? You're gonna live off state pension of the whole of, what is it, £60 or £100? Is it great? No, it's not. And by the time you reach that age, have you realized that inflation and all of that is gonna be what then? Let's open up our minds. Let's open up our hearts instead of our pockets. I mean, I'm not saying don't spoil the person you care about. I'm not saying that once you find your wife, yeah, you can't do all those things for her or him, because it is both sides. It's not just one. But minimize. Don't just be out here, guys, spending silly like that. It just doesn't make sense. And if you are, I mean, if you have it and you can waste it, I mean, fine. But I'm sure it could go to a better cause. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe.